Good morning. Welcome to Sunday. Happy to be here with you. Last week, I talked about the five hindrances. And the opposite pole of that is the seven factors of awakening. And mindfulness and the four foundations of mindfulness is sort of the bridge between them. So today I'm going to talk about the seven factors of awakening as a path, as something we can cultivate. But first, let's meditate. I invite you to find a comfortable posture for meditation in which you can be alert and awake and relaxed at the same time. And just letting your body settle into your seat. I want to rock back and forth a little bit. Help your body come to a center, side to side a little bit, until your body comes to a center. Maybe even rock your head just a little bit, from side to side. And find a center and back and forth from side to find a center. And just letting your body settle. And let's take a few slow, deep breaths. Just about 3/4. That's slow, deep inhale. Noticing the body transitioning to an exhale and a long, slow, deep exhale. Deep breath in. And on the out breath, just begin the process of softening and relaxing. Breathing out and relaxing the muscles in your face, the muscles around your eyes. Letting your shoulders drop as you exhale. Letting your breath return to normal. And just continuing on the out breath to relax the shoulders, noticing throughout your body any spaces of tension or holding. Relaxing your body, relaxing your belly on the in-breath, letting your belly expand. We often hold a tight belly walking around in the regular world. We just let our belly relax and hang, expand and contract as we breathe in and out. Now just becoming aware of the sensations of the body breathing. Letting your focus and your attention rest on the breath, sensations of the in-breath, the sensations of the out-breath. Just focusing on the sensations of the body breathing. You can focus on the sensations of the air moving in and out of your nose. Or you can focus on the sensations of your chest and belly moving up and down. Or on just the global sensations of the body breathing in and out. Your mind wanders off. You notice that you're thinking. It's okay. The mind does that. It's supposed to do that. When you notice, it's all good. Just bring your attention back to the breath. Gently, compassionately. And as we come to the end of this sitting, may the benefits of this practice be a benefit to all beings everywhere. May all beings be happy. May all beings be well. May all beings be safe. May all beings be at ease and at peace. Thank you for your practice. As I said before, today we're going to talk about the 7 factors of awakening. And those are mindfulness, investigation, effort, joy, tranquility and ease, concentration, and equanimity. Excuse me. Last week I talked about the 5 hindrances, being desire, aversion, restlessness, sleepiness, and doubt. These are opposite ends of the pole. And the bridge between them is the 4 foundations of mindfulness. So the qualities of mindfulness, investigation, effort, joy, tranquility, concentration, and equanimity. We already have these qualities. These are normal. And rather than trying to create something new, we're focusing on cultivating something that we already have. So it's appropriate, since mindfulness is the bridge, that the first of the 7 qualities is mindfulness. Mindfulness is the foundational practice of all of these practices. It's the beginning of the path, but it is not the end of the path. Mindfulness is simply the practice of paying attention, of being aware of your present moment experience without judgment, without filtering it through the noise in the head and the patterns from before, or the expectations for after. Just being aware of your present moment experience. It's an art, and it's something we practice, like practicing the piano or practicing the violin. In every moment of our lives, in every moment of our experience, we're always practicing something. Sometimes we're practicing our habits, and sometimes we're practicing in a more intentional way, focusing on the qualities that free us from habits. So mindfulness brings greater intent, helps us focus on our intention. Helps us choose what we practice on, what we practice. It's the quality of being able to choose and develop where we place our attention. And of course, the mind wanders. Of course, the mind wanders. The lungs breathe, the heart beats, the mind thinks. So we practice compassionately with ourselves, returning to the present moment. And the sitting practice is the incubator, where we are training our mind to be able to notice when we've wandered off and to come back. And when we notice this, we can decide to cultivate attitudes that serve us and enhance the well-being of those around us, to help us be in the service of the health and well-being of others. And we can notice more easily through mindfulness when we are not doing that. It's not altogether unlike driving a car. We're driving down the road. We're paying attention, I hope. We're paying attention to the ongoing traffic. We're paying attention to what's happening on either side of us, if we might change lanes. We're paying attention to what's happening in the rearview mirror. We're paying attention to our speed. We pay attention to the fuel gauge if we have to. We keep our eyes focused on the road, but we look around and we're mindful at this, whatever is going on that affects our driving, but we're mindful of what we're doing and focused in that moment. The second factor is investigation. Learning to understand what leads to our distraction and our distress and what leads out of it. We can mindfully take in our experience and say, what is this and what am I choosing to be available for and what am I not choosing to be available for? It's about distinguishing the details of our experience so we can make better choices, making pragmatic decisions about the present moment experience. Let's say I'm feeling angry. If I'm feeling angry, there's usually a narrative in my head that wants me to do something. I can look at that mindfully as a process and decide to investigate, is this impulse going to serve me? Is this impulse going to serve the health and well-being of the people around me? Differentiating between mind states and noticing which ones includes more of an ouch and which ones include more of an ah, and focusing on ah without ignoring our pain. This is not a form of analysis, it's a form of awareness. We're not trying to make something different happen. We're just working mindfully on being aware of our experience and investigating the components and elements of it. Again, it's like driving, knowing when to brake, knowing when to accelerate. Seems effortless after we've learned it, but while we're learning it, we really have to focus on it. And without careful discernment to our surroundings, we would be unsafe. This is especially true when I'm on my motorcycle. Especially when I was learning to ride, I really needed to be aware, hyper aware, really aware of what was going on around me. And to be relaxed at the same time. People who learn to ride, if they can't relax with it, they give it up, which is appropriate, because if you can't relax into your experience, you're going to be more distracted. And that's a metaphor for going out into your life with a sense of mindfulness and investigation and asking yourself, what does this situation call for? Rather than just following our impulses. And the situation calls for self-compassion because we're not going to snap our fingers and be able to do all this. These are practices that we cultivate. The next factor is effort, which I like to think of as intention. It's not like striving to be forward, because this is not a striving practice. This is a learning to settle into ourselves practice. Being mindful of the footprint we leave in the world, in our own hearts. Deciding to have the intention to notice when we respond with anger or kindness and empathy. To notice have the intention to notice when we're meeting our experience with some form of aversion, doubt, restlessness, or checking out, or when we're accepting and investigating our experience with some sense of equanimity. And right effort, encourages us to ask, what is my intention? That's part of investigation. And then when we move, what is my intention? The next foundation is joy. And joy can be found, okay? Even in some of our worst moments, joy can be found. When my father was dying of cancer in the last several days, we were doing the hospice thing in his apartment. One of my best friends showed up and brought us all breakfast. Lox and bagels, my favorite breakfast. There was some joy in that moment of feeling embraced and loved by the people around me. We can find joy in the simple things. In driving through the tall redwoods of Northern California is a joyous thing. Driving along the beach in Florida, where I now live, is a joyous thing. We can find moments of joy, and we can find periods of joy in things we do, in the moments we have, in the people we talk to. Listening to Miles Davis, for me, brings joy. I'm a jazz fan. I'm exploring trumpet players these days. I'm finding joy in that. We can experience joy. We're allowed to experience joy. As a therapist, I worked with a lot of trauma survivors and people who grew up in dangerous, less than sane environments. And part of the work was to give ourselves permission to have a joyful life after having been used to not having that. So joy can be found, and we're allowed to have it. We don't cling, because moods come and go, states of mind come and go. But there is joy available. The next foundation is ease. There's a saying in Alcoholics Anonymous, easy does it. Most of the time, if we look around at the present moment, there's nothing to actually be done. Maybe get up and do the dishes. Maybe take out the garbage. Maybe help when you're at a gathering. But we can do this with a sense of ease and tranquility and not indulge in the kind of urgency that the culture likes to push. We can take a breath. We can slow down. We notice we're getting amped up. We can always slow down our breathing, which will help us return to a more ease posture. I often teach people the practice of just pausing and taking 10 slow, deep breaths into your belly. And when you do that, your head clears and your body relaxes and your blood pressure comes back down. And we can be more at ease. The next factor is concentration, which is particularly challenging. I work with this. I've noticed that in my meditation practice, I'm very focused at the beginning, and as time goes by, my mind wanders off more and more. And I started looking at the clock when that happens to notice it 10 or 12 minutes. So I'm practicing being aware of that and coming back to concentration. It's not a goal. It's just a thing to be cultivated. It's like I had to drive through a snowstorm I had my then girlfriend, my sister, and my brother in the car. We were driving from southern Pennsylvania to northern New Jersey, and it started to snow like nobody's business. There was nowhere to pull over, there was nowhere to stop. And the kind of attention and concentration that demands was very present and very focused. So we're capable of going there. It's something that we practice. Like all of these other factors, these are things that we already have internally, and we can cultivate them. And the last is equanimity, which is one of my favorites. Equanimity shows up various places in the Dharma, in the Brahma Viharas, in the 10 Perfections. Equanimity is the art and the practice of being with our experience without attachment or aversion. It's the acceptance part of the brain practice. I could be having a bad day. I could be feeling sad. Not a bad day. I could be having a difficult day. I could be feeling sad. And it's okay to meet that and embrace it and not get attached to it. I could be feeling elated. It's okay to meet that and embrace it and not get attached to it, because everything comes and goes, especially states of mind. And equanimity is the art of not needing our practice, our experience. We don't need our experience to be different than it is. The art of knowing we're okay, even when we don't feel okay. There were something happened this week that made me very sad. And I grieve for that. But with a sense of equanimity, I can have that experience and still know that I'm okay and accept it and not reject it. The art of recognizing that if you're having an unpleasant experience or that you're upset, we're still able to decide that we're okay. So, I invite you to be kind and gentle with yourself and to practice the foundations, the factors. To notice when we have drifted off into the hindrances, be kind, bow, and come back to the person we are cultivating ourselves to be. So, thank you for your kind attention.